Hello and welcome to another edition of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show, brought to you by our friends at Stokes Mazda and Ashley Phosphate in North Charleston, longtime supporters of Fort Dorchester football, and we're recording the show from the Stokes Mazda showroom. You're always invited to stop by, and remember to sign up to Kick to Win. When you walk through the gates at Bagwell Stadium, you'll have a chance to drive a brand new Stokes Mazda for a full year, or if you're 17 and younger, you can win $1,000. So thanks to Stokes Mazda as always. I'm the voice of the Patriots, Richard Todd, here with head varsity football coach Sean Lorenzano as we talk about the Fort Dorchester game hosting the West Ashley Wildcats. It was good to get some home cooking. It had been 5 weeks since we had a game at Steve LaPrade Field at Bagwell Stadium, and just to get back in the friendly confines there of the home situation, a great crowd, lots of noise. It was a lot of fun, and we start out though a little bit behind the eight ball right off the beginning there in the first quarter, because you had a short field, some 3 and outs, which I know you hate that offensively, and then it would be an 11-yard touchdown pass for West Ashley to take the lead 7-0 right off the bat. But just going into the game, being back home, being 3-3 and being 0-1 in the region at the time, what were your thoughts and comments to the team just coming out there for that home game finally?
I mean, we talked about legacy. What do you want to be remembered as? That was kind of the theme in the locker room before that. We want to be remembered. We want to be remembered as a team that hits hard, a team that plays hard, a team that fights to the finish. And the last few weeks, Ashley Ridge we fought, but
yes.
The last few weeks it was just rough on us. You know what I mean? And we talked about legacy. Let's leave the legacy tonight. We're back home. We're back in our house. Let's leave the legacy. Let's let these people remember us by the way we play and how we play. And so that was the kind of thematic before that. And it was great to be home, man, and not have to travel. There's some long road trips, man, and even just going across town to Ashley Ridge, but just being at home. Where we practice, where we play, where we live. It was special to be back.
You got to protect that house when you're at home.
100%.
And of course, the new hype video. One of the things that we talked about at the beginning of the season, one of the mantras that you've been talking about, is see it through.
Yeah.
And you see that on the hype video before the game. So you fall behind 7-0 right out of the chute there in the first quarter, but then a 51-yard touchdown run from Agent Zero, as he calls himself on X, or formerly Twitter, Ryan Campbell, and that tied it up at 7-7. The offensive line were making holes. They were giving Kevin Johnson some good protection.
Yeah.
And then Ryan just has the speed and agility that he never goes down with the first hit.
No, he's tough. He's deceptively. I'm telling you, he's 170 pounds, but he plays like a 250-pound fullback. Especially the physicality with the speed of I don't know, a deer, man. He could just get out of it. So, he's tough. He's strong. He's agile. He's fast. He's a 4-3 kid, and he just, you get him one-on-one in most situations, he's going to win.
Yeah, he makes the first guy miss, and if the first guy hits him, the first guy doesn't bring him down. And we mentioned he's a junior. Kevin Johnson, a quarterback's a sophomore. Such a young team for the Patriots. Tied up at 7, a costly pass interference penalty, and then it'd be a 31-yard touchdown pass from West Ashley that took the lead 14-7. That seemed to be, and we'll talk about this from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. The first half, it seemed like the secondary allowed some receivers to get behind them and have some open coverage, and 14-7 would be the score at the end of the first quarter. That coverage issue became a problem in the second quarter, but the second half is a totally different story. But just talk about the coverage there that allowed the touchdown.
We just start slow. I don't know. We've been doing that all year. I mean, we've come from behind in a few games, but we start so slow. And we had that conversation today in practice. Is how do we strike first? How do we get our mentality better, gentlemen? Because we're really kind of feeling things out offensively and defensively. How do we strike first and strike hard? We came out slow. The balls that were thrown were just, straight in the air.
Yes, there was a lot of air under those
I think
balls,
I can run my big old tail down there.
But yet they were still able to
We were
catch.
just blowing coverage.
Okay.
And I think, we were just way far out of position. We blew some coverages big time. And we weren't in any position to where we could have made those plays. So, and they capitalized. Those balls should have been interceptions. But, it didn't happen like that. And we go and they score. And then we have our own issues on offense too. We moved the ball. We had, I did the stats. I think we had like 18 or 19 first downs. Mm-hmm. But we get down to it was 2 or 3 times we get down to the 1 yard line. We fumble one. We get stopped on one. I think we get stopped on another, and that hasn't been really how we've been playing football. We've been kind of a good red zone team, man. We've kind of get our sets and we just smash the ball, and we've been very successful. So schematically, I think teams are kind of catching on to what we're doing, but we'll fix that.
Absolutely. Well, at the last play, really near the end of the first quarter, was a 3-yard punt that gave them a short field that they would capitalize on the second quarter with a 20-yard touchdown pass, another blown coverage, and a lot of air under that ball as well. There was more air under that ball than that 3-yard punt. And all of a sudden, Fort Dorchester's down 21-7 there in the second quarter. And then we talk about, you mentioned it, it's amazing for the Patriots to come out on top and yet to have a 4th and goal at the 1 and get stopped, and later on a fumble at the 1 and get stopped, an interception in the end zone, and a pick 6 called back.
Yeah.
All those things happened against the Patriots, but we got to point out, first of all, great 25-yard pass to Anthony Williams, and you bring in what you call the hammer package.
Yeah.
When you have those short yardage situations. 4th and goal at the 1, I mean, everyone in the press box, we knew you were going to go for it. Yeah. Surprising that we got stopped. I mean, kudos to West Ashley. They played a really good game, though, Friday night.
Yeah, they did. We have, again, when we're looking at, in the hammer package, we're looking at certain things, and it's hard. The teams align differently, and they have to make quick adjustments because hammer's an overloaded package. So sometimes we get confused up front too. So when we're watching the film and watching back, we just blocked it wonky. We did not do what we're traditionally supposed to do on power, and it just didn't didn't go our way. We blocked it all wonky, and we let some guys through, but we've got a lot fixed this week already, so we should be okay.
Well, when it was 21-7 West Ashley there in the second quarter, the Wildcats would score no more points for the remainder of the game, and kudos to the defense, and we'll talk more about that, especially with the halftime adjustments. After the 21-7 deficit, though, Fort Dorchester coming down the field, an 11-yard touchdown pass from Kevin Johnson to number 4, Jalen White, making it 21-14, feeling better as we get closer to halftime. Then we got to call out number 24, Roman Parson. Yeah. Interception for Fort Dorchester, setting us up. And then the very next play, an interception, the Patriots throw to West Ashley. And so back-to-back plays, back-to-back interceptions, and it'd be a 21-14 halftime lead. What's your message to the team there at halftime and getting ready for the second half? Because it seemed like second half adjustments, the defense and the offense both really stepped it up.
Yeah, I think when we got in the room, we just kind of separate. Coach Floyd goes and fixes where he's got to fix. I fix what we got to fix on offense, and we start to kind of just strategize. And to the offense, I said, we have to play a lot more physical than we've been playing. We can't get to the 1 and get stopped. We can't, and we always kind of we've got to tactically figure out what we're going to do to try to beat them. Defense, they just had a gut check, to be honest with you, and Floyd challenged them. Floyd challenged their legacy. Floyd challenged their a lot, and so when I got to talk to him, I reiterated and backed him up, and as a whole team, we said we got to come out and we've got to finish this game hard, and we got to let them know who we are and where they are right now. And so we came out, and the halftime adjustments to the coverage, halftime adjustments to the fronts were good. Offensively, we went in a totally different set that nobody's ever seen before, that we've been practicing for a little while, and takes a little bit off of Ryan. Puts it on our other backs too. So we've got a couple other good backs that we're
Cameron Maxwell and Durant as well. A couple of backs that come in and spell him every once in a while.
Right. So we have a twins package, and we put them both in the game at the same time, and they did very well at executing it. So and we were able to move the ball down the field. We were able to score a bunch more. So
I was going to say 21-7 was the score early, but then 27 consecutive points by the Patriots, and outscored West Ashley 20-0. In the second half. And as we look at the second half, that we mentioned this name again, number 24, Roman Parson, who had the interception in the second quarter, big sack in the third quarter. Patriots get the ball back and really have a good drive there early in the third, only to throw an interception in the end zone, which is tough. But then comes a play that a lot of people could have, a lot of teams could have gotten angry about. Great pick 6, number 5, Jordan Wright, makes an interception, takes it all the way back to the house. Mm-hmm. Referees, officials throw a flag for a block in the back or holding that really was not even necessary for the Patriots. That would have been another 6 points that came off the board there.
Well, we've got to be smarter, and I think sometimes they've kind of just got to let the game be the game. So you know what I mean? You just got to let things go a little bit.
Because it really had no effect on the play
Correct.
at all.
But again, we've got to be smarter as a group of kids. But yeah, that was tough.
This speaks to the resilience, though, of the Patriots and the whole see it through mentality. I mean, so you have 4th and goal at the 1, don't make it. You have a pick 6 taken off the board. You have an interception in the end zone, so that negates a drive. You got a great 45-yard pass from Kevin Johnson to number 6, Anthony Williams. Another young receiver who has got some height and some skills, right?
Yeah. Anthony Williams is good. He's been doing this. He's been doing this thing. He's got great speed. He's got the ability to read, get separation, change and adjust his routes. His route adjustments are phenomenal for a kid his age at the freshman level. With his height and his speed, he's going to be a big-time player for Fort Dorchester, and I'm looking forward to him. The combination between him and Kevin, they read each other well. I think it was that one touchdown play. Kevin had the wherewithal to have some patience, and it was actually a slant. All right, they both read inside leverage on the slant. We have a bubble combo on that, but Kevin just did like this, did get a little hand signal. I love it because I like when they can be creative
and
too.
They're connected.
Yep. It might not be the play I drew up, but they made a damn good adjustment on it. He adjusted the slant, ran the sluggo. And, man, if they didn't hit perfectly, man, it was awesome to watch.
And you get down there on the 1-yard line, and then you had a fumble, a turnover right on the goal line. And that is how the third quarter ended. No points scored by either team, still down 21-14 heading into the fourth quarter. But, again, 4th and 1 at the goal line and a fumble on the 1 and a pick 6 taken off the board. I mean, those are a lot of things to work against.
Richard, I'll tell you right now, over the past few weeks, we have left so many points on the board, whether it's due to drop passes or the fumbles. These are things that a young team does, and these are things that young kids do. And I hope and I pray that everybody has the vision to see what these kids. And I know our guys do. I know they believe in it. I know that they're making mistakes, and they own up to them. And hey, this is mine. I teach them that. I'll own up to my stuff too. When I call things that are backwards or something like that and confuse them, they own up to their stuff. And man, I promise you, the future is so bright. These kids are going to be something special in this community and around here. It's going to be a fun future.
Yeah, absolutely. And leaving those points on the field. I mean, not getting those touchdowns. The thing that really I thought stood out was the way the defense really shut down West Ashley's offense in the second half with those halftime adjustments. And so you enter the fourth quarter trailing 21-20, but then after a really nice drive, a 3-yard touchdown run by Ryan Campbell, and then you had a missed extra point. God, those little things can come back to haunt you. So you're down 21-20.
Well, we have a penalty on that. So there was a penalty on West Ashley. We move up, so I want to go for 2.
We were wondering about that.
Yeah, I'm down there and I'm contemplating, and it's either tie the game up right now with 1, right? That's the situation.
Yeah, it was 21-20, and we were wondering if you're going to go
or
for 2.
Or do we go for 2 and take the lead? And I figured we had some juice on offense and we could score again. So I said, let's play it safe. Let's just kick the 1 and then we miss it.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Oh my goodness!
Would you think about that again, going for 2, or are you just still happy with that decision?
It just depends.
Just the execution.
Just depends on who we got in there. It just depends, and he's again that Zach's a young kid. You know what I mean? He's got some experience that helps him out in Eric Mittag, and Mittag hit some big field goals this year so far.
Yeah, and I noticed that afterwards, Mittag came in to do the PATs after that miss.
Yeah.
21-20, and you're sitting there thinking, okay, this can't end like this because there's still a lot of time left in the fourth quarter. And again, the defense steps up. Number 16, Duke Williams, big interception for the Patriots, and then all of a sudden you've got the ball back on a short field, and it'll be a 37-yard touchdown run by Agent Zero, Ryan Campbell, to make it 27-21 with Mittag kicking the extra point. But getting the lead there in the fourth quarter, and the crowd was so into it.
Good. I don't get to hear that. I'm so locked in. I don't really pay attention. That's why I asked you before the show how was the crowd and were they into it. But yeah, it was a good little play. We had kind of been wanting to. We didn't run that play all night, and I knew it was going to hit. We ran into boundary and it hit good, and they blocked it well. And then again, you get Ryan in open space with one guy, he's most likely gonna beat you.
Yeah, another great performance from Ryan Campbell and the offensive line and Kevin Johnson, the quarterback, and your wideouts, and then the defense. Now here was the play though in the fourth quarter that could have been problematic. It was after the Patriots after the Wildcats got stopped, the punt. And I know there's always a conversation about running up and catching it versus letting it bounce.
Yeah.
It ended up being a 65-yard punt for West Ashley that pinned the Patriots deep, and that's the question: do you run up and catch it or let it bounce?
When you get the ball down there, it changes the whole play call.
It flipped the field.
It changes the whole play call, and you've got to really just play it safe, and you don't want to throw a pick down there. You don't want to do anything like that. So you're really just running the ball to punt it so you can get out of that situation. But yes, it takes a special kid to sit in there and catch that punt. It takes a special kid. You've got to have poise, discipline. You've got to be tough mentally, and you've got to know you have to have a plan already going. So Ryan took one to the house, and he's got the speed and he's got everything, but he errs on the side of I don't want to mess this up or fumble it. So I'll just kind of let this down. We've got to make sure that we can either fair catch something, you know what I mean? And so we're going to work on that, and we've got to do that. But yeah, we don't want that ball to bounce anymore.
Yeah, because then you're so deep in your own territory after that 65-yard punt. And as you said, it flipped the field.
Yeah.
And so there's only about 4 minutes left in the game. Short field for West Ashley. Crowds into it, 27-21. Game's on the line. And here comes your defense. I mean, kudos to the defense. Let's first off mention big sack by number 91, Tyler McClendon. And the offensive line, the defensive line in the second half did apply a lot of pressure, and they pitched a shutout.
Yeah, it was good to watch. Between the O-line and the D-line, they had a great night, And again, the defense in the second half and the D-line in the second half, it was a dominant physical performance. I think we wore them down. We leaned on them. It was just a dominant physical performance. Bronco, I'll give kudos to Bronco Thompson, Lamarion Thompson. He's playing both sides of the ball, and he's doing it with some style, baby. He's got stamina. And he's making plays on both sides. He doesn't ask to come out. He's clearing holes on offense. That offensive line did such a great job. Moving guys out, and then he goes over to defense, and then you got Tyler, you got Darren McQueen, you've got Malachi Watson, and all those guys.
Malachi had a great game.
Yeah,
too,
they had a great game, and they did a great job. And the linebacker core again in Rowe and Jackson King and Savon Garrett. I think it's one of the best around.
And you mentioned Jackson King because after the sack from Tyler McClendon, it really forced the hand of West Ashley. They had a 3rd and long, and Jackson King steps up, gets that interception. Crowd goes crazy, gets the ball back to the Patriots, who would methodically march down in the final minutes, push it in with a 13-yard touchdown run from number 0, Ryan Campbell. 34-21 final score. That was a resilient victory for the Patriots.
It was. We've been working real hard, and they believe, and they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop because we have some setbacks or adversity. These kids are gonna keep fighting all the way through. And I'm very proud of them. It was good to have that home victory for these boys. They needed that. I needed that. I think the school needed it. The community needed it. I think we're all like, all right, let's go get the next one at James Island.
Yeah, after 5 weeks and being back home, and just again, I think it's worth mentioning the resilience from the standpoint of being down 21-7, scoring 27 consecutive points, going 20-0 in the second half for the Patriots, and yet, like you said, leaving points on the field with a 4th and 1, a fumble at the 1, a pick 6 called back, an interception in the end zone, all of that, and still 34-21. So the Patriots improved to 4-3 on the season, 1-1 in the region, and now you mentioned the James Island Trojans come to town. The Trojans gave Somerville a tough game just this past Friday night, and again, you're looking at the region, you're looking at seeding for the playoffs, and James Island, this is their first year stepping up into 5A play, so you got another test with senior night as well. Right. So for the seniors, it can get a little emotional when they get that recognition for not only the cheerleaders, the training staff, and the band, but also the players. So just your thoughts going into this James Island game.
I think we honor our seniors. I think we stay focused. And I always want to make sure, we do honors. These kids put in 4 years of their life. These parents put These parents put in 4 years of their sacrifice. And so we just want to recognize them, and all the kids deserve it. And then once that's all done and all the ceremonial stuff is out of the way, we're locking in and we're ready to fight again. So, James Island is a good team. They're coached well. They're solid. You know, we're 4 deep, and we're going to come to play, and we're going to come ready, and we're going to give it our best.
Hard to believe, here we are in the middle of October, and we actually are already on the next to last home game of the regular season. The season can fly by fast. 7:30 Friday night, October 20th, Fort Dorchester hosting the James Island Trojans. Come on out there, senior night, support your Patriots as we push towards the end of the season. But do remember, if you can't make it to the game, you can hear the game on the webcast at FDHSathletics.mixler.com. That's FDHSathletics.mixler.com. You can also go to Facebook and type in Fort Dorchester Sports Radio, or go to X, formerly Twitter, and FDHS Radio, and you can listen to the game wherever you are on the planet, and you can support your Patriots that way with Ralph Nolan doing the broadcast. Coach, congratulations and best of luck against James Island.
Praise the Lord.
It's been so far been a really entertaining season for the Patriots. Now come on out and support them on Friday night against James Island. We look forward to seeing you there, and we thank you for watching this edition of the Fort Dorchester High School Coaches Show.